Hi there and welcome to this leak where today we're looking at our new product, our carboys, our glass carboys. Now what you see in front of you is not what most people would assume a carboy would look like. It was not the first picture that comes to mind, even for myself. You say carboy, I'm thinking of the big round bottles with the very narrow neck at the top, and that's what I associate with the carboys. But nonetheless, these are carboys, but of a slightly different design, and I'll explain why the different design just now. Now, we've got 5 different sizes available, starting with the smallest, which is the 5 liter, we've got an 8 liter, a 13 liter, a 19 liter, and the largest one is a 23 liter. Now, these are made from quite thick glass, also the checker pattern makes for additional reinforcement. It will still break, but it's going to take a lot more to break it. Also included with this checker pattern, because the problem with it is that it doesn't give a smooth surface for label application, but we thought about that as well. There is a smooth section on each of the carboys which allows you to put a label on there. My preferred label would be the charcoal paint stick-on labels where you can write on with chalk and then just wipe it off every time. Looks crafty, looks nice. It makes for, and it's quite useful. But now the reason for the different shape, why do we have this wide open neck? We've identified 2 major challenges with our clients, and with clients that don't necessarily distill alcohol, but they ferment other products, fermented vegetables, for instance, fermented sauces, hot sauces. There's a lot of different things happening in the fermentation world, if I can put it like that. So people need access to the interior of the fermentation vessels if they intend to use this for fermentation purposes, which it can, and I'll explain how just now. This is nice because you can open it up and put your whole hand inside to clean the interior, which is great, of course. Even if you're using this for storage of for alcohol, of your low wines or your final spirits, again, from time to time, if you're playing around with different types of products, you might want to clean the inside properly. So this access allows you to do that, allows you to clean it properly. The other factor that plays a role here is, of course, infusions. Now, if you're making gin, for instance, or a spirit aperitif, or a liqueur, or a spiced rum, for instance, or maybe you're just wooding your product, wood chips inside, wood staves inside, whatever you might be using. Again, this large opening allows you to put infusions in, put botanicals in, and easily remove them again afterwards and clean the interior, hence the big access. The other benefit of this is, of course, it can be used as a fermentation vessel as well. Now, how do we do that? Because obviously, if you're going to be fermenting, if you don't allow for something for the CO2 to escape from the vessel, you're going to end up with something exploding or bursting or cracking. It's going to be a big mess, regardless of what happens. Now, if you look at this lid, it is closed. There is no openings in here, so if you're doing a direct infusion or you're storing alcohol, you're not going to lose anything because the lid is completely closed. However, if you remove this, with each carboy comes an airlock. Now, this might not look like an airlock like you're used to, but if you take a close look, you'll see that there's a spacer here which fits over this section with little holes in it, and then along the edge here, the deeper edge, you also have little holes. So what you do is you take the lid, you put that over like so, and it can actually turn on so it seats properly, and then you fill this lip here with water, which means this becomes your airlock. You still have the bubbling, you can still see it happening, there's still no contamination that happens, there's nothing that goes into the bottle, and this design is actually more effective than a normal airlock, because in a normal airlock, as many of you might have seen, if there's a temperature change and it gets cold overnight and it kind of shrinks, the volume gets smaller because of this cold, you get a vacuum effect that will actually pull liquid through the airlock into your fermentation, which is one of the reasons we don't advise putting sterilizing agents or Adofa or something like that in the airlock, because it might end up in the fermentation in a scenario like that where it contracts because of the cold. In this design, that cannot happen. So you don't have that problem of liquid accidentally getting inside the fermentation. So this attachment turns it into a fermentation vessel. The other a nice add-on that you get with this, not so much important with the smaller units, but with the larger ones, definitely important. I mean, you can now imagine if you've got this 23 liter and it's full, now you're talking, well, as it is, it's about 5 kgs, I would guess. Add in another 23, because 30 kgs that you have to pick up and move around and so on, which is not a problem if you're a man, but if you're a lady, you might have a bit of issue with that. And it's not very easy to carry, it's not convenient, it doesn't have handles, so we include handle straps with it. Like so, just fits around and you can carry it very, very easily. So, that is our glass carboys available from the Distleek website. Please note there's one page for all the different sizes, so there is a drop-down menu there where you have to click and select which size carboy are you looking for, which size carboy do you want, and your price will change accordingly.